Juice Bar, May's around the corner. Knicks going back to Detroit. We're going to recap Game 5, have a little reaction, talk about physical ball. Then Game 6, a little preview what the Knicks have to do to get the W, close out this series. Because if I'm being honest, they stole Game 4.
They stole Game 4.
This team won't go away, the Pistons. Every time I think that it's a good letdown spot and the Knicks should be able to apply their pressure and offensively, specifically, and get a win, Detroit doesn't go away. And it starts in the first quarter. Every time the Knicks have let them hang in the first quarter, the confidence builds very quickly.
Yeah.
They muck up the game. There's whistles every 90 seconds at the maximum. There's a stoppage of some sort, of some kind.
Yeah.
If that is the ref telling Dennis Schroeder or breaking people apart or a delay of game, 57 fouls in the game.
But as you know, that helps Detroit's MO completely.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So like they've done a really good job of making sure the Knicks start slow offensively and leaning on that throughout the entire game. Now, what are your initial reactions on the game? And I said 57 fouls. It was actually 51 fouls, 27 fouls from the Knicks, 24 from the Pistons. One thing that we've been talking about throughout, Cat has put up some big numbers against Jalen Duren throughout the series.
Yeah.
I still think Jalen Duren's doing a really good job with Cat. And so is Tobias Harris. They're both doing a really good job. Everything that Cat has hit, for the most part, has been extremely difficult.
It's been earned.
Fall away floaters, 28-foot threes.
Can't do his little two-step to the crib.
There hasn't been very many easy buckets, if any, damn near, for Karl-Anthony Towns. So I got to salute them there. Kicking it to you here.
Yeah. You mentioned the first quarter, and shout out Pete who gave us this great research coming off of the Game 3 and the Game 4 wins, which we obviously saw on the road, a completely different Knicks. So the Knicks are 13-3 when they're leading after the first quarter on the road, and they're 16-21 home and road when they're down. And secondarily, the Pistons, and this is why Brunson has spoke on this, Sean. They're 5-16 at home, trailing after the first 9:32, trailing at half. Knicks even better at half. So that, to me, is the game plan for Game 6. But coming off Game 5, I mean, we knew the Pistons were going to do what they did as far as effort, muck it up. They've done it the whole series. I mean, this was one of those games that was really my only pushback on just the Knicks had a chance to bury them, I think, coming out in the third quarter. And they got back in it. And once they got back in it, and again, listening, just...
Did you hear what Bridges said about the third quarter? The post game? In the locker room, Bridges said, we got to figure out a way to get something going in the at halftime to maybe get guys more ready to go in the third quarter. He talked about he went to the basics and said maybe we should come out and get like in a layup line together just to get the juices flowing. Well, it's something that he said they had to do in Phoenix. It's something that we need to get figured out because we continue to come out slow.
Well, Sean, what have we observed in the Garden? You spoke on it.
Talked about this before, yeah.
Let's bring it up because, I mean, if that's the case again, where the crowd can contribute and get in their seats, but
throughout the last couple years.
And this is only L.A. and New York.
We haven't missed damn near any game, especially not any playoff games. We've been in the building. Especially last year's team and the year prior. The year prior, 2 years ago, was the first Brunson playoff run with the Knicks.
Yeah.
They were still learning. They were still getting going. Fine. That team thrived off the crowd energy, especially in the playoffs. Last year's team, 100% when the crowd were behind them, they were a different basketball team in the Garden at home.
Well said.
They would have lulls coming out in the third quarter because the entire bottom bowl is empty.
That's a good way to say it, bottom bowl.
The bottom bowl, there's no soup left. Nobody's there to start the third. But
it's minutes plural. It's like
guys don't get back in. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get back in their seats till about 8 minutes in the third.
It's about what it is.
There's about 4 full minutes that run off, and there were stretches in games last year where they came out extremely flat. Crowd shows up. They completely turn it around once the crowd is back in their seats and rooting. The atmosphere is a massive positive for the Knicks. And in the only time there's not atmosphere during the game is when the Knicks are getting dusted, which doesn't happen very often.
Right.
Or there's tons of stoppages when Detroit's mucking up the game, or there's just no people in the seats. It's a really, there's no way to find a solve for it.
You could do one of those announcements.
You could urge people to get in their seats.
Little PA principle back in the day.
But rich people are going to do what they want to do, and if they want to go get a halftime piece of cake at the Delta Lounge, they're going to go get one, and they're going to go try to talk to whoever they need to talk to in the Delta Lounge, right? The people in the upper deck are there.
But Sean,
they're locked in the atmosphere.
That's why I want to talk out with you. It's the beginning of the first quarter, beginning of the third quarter, and then the Knicks have to battle. They have to exhaust their energy. Old school backyard baseball. Remember they had the juice meter? Like, you only have so much juice.
No doubt.
Like, we're on the juice
But
bar.
that's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
In the first round of the playoffs against a team that has no playoff experience. And if we're being honest, one guy that's a threat on offense and creation, and that's Cade Cunningham.
That's it.
Outside of those guys, they don't have anything. And I want to be clear about this. Jalen Brunson's allowed to have a bad game. The guy's not going to score 35 every single night.
Correct.
So he had a bad game last night. Other guys have to pick him up. No one was there to pick him up. Combined from Cat and Jalen Brunson, 9 of 31. And if we talk about something that jumped off the screen for me was to go back to the nothing is easy.
Yeah.
Knicks in the restricted area, not the paint, the restricted area, shot 56.8%. The league average is 66%.
Wow.
They are making it really difficult at the cup. Guys are going to have to figure out a way to finish. So,
well, let me ask you this, because that's an interesting thought, and shout out our guy Kev, who gave me this great gem walking in here. Fourth quarter stats. He was doing this old school box score baseball with it in the stands. Fourth quarter only, but 10 seconds left in the shot clock or less. They were 3 for 11, but if they got a shot off before they hit 10 seconds, they were 6 for 8. And that's big discrepancy. And you talk about nothing's easy. Is this one of those maybe MOs offensively where the Knicks have to come out and make decisive decision-making, not just wait, because then when we're banking on Carl going downhill, and we've seen it. There's no steam. Not a lot of guys outside of maybe OG make it look easy with his frame against his Pistons D.
Another guy that makes it look easy when he gets downhill is Josh Hart. He's the only guy in the open court that presses the issue and gets to the cup. And on the flip side, it's kind of like what Cade's doing. Cade gets going downhill. You can forget about it. It's a bucket. We might as well get back on defense. Or he's going to the free throw line. And he's done it over and over and over and over. Brunson drew a charge once. Outside of that, when Cade got downhill, it was almost impossible to stop. So Josh has been getting to the rack. But, one-on-one is not Cat's game. And there were times where they were asking him to do that, especially late in the shot clock. It makes things very difficult. I said earlier in the series, they're passing up on good shots to get great shots, but we don't have enough creation and bucket getters on the team that can do that. So, I tend to agree with you.
So, looking at Game 6, I mean, obviously it took a little bit for OG to get going, took a little bit for Bridges to get going. You imagine as the captain, you come in, game plan-wise, it's doing kind of what Detroit did, put them on the defensive. And I do think this is a weird series where it's such a tenacious it's like an AFC North. It's like a Ravens-Steelers game. It's like an 18, it's like really to make a metaphor. And so for me, I think the pressure now, believe it or not, is on Detroit to get a win at Little Caesars. I know you would say, in theory, it is on the Knicks. The real pressure was they haven't closed out a home game in the playoffs since 1999. That's pressure. That's, that's like micro, macro pressure. It's not pressure in the series. They should have taken care of them. But you know what I mean. It's like, and you look at the numbers.
See, I disagree with you. The pressure is solely on the Knicks.
Well, and of course, in the grand scheme of the
series. Let me ask you this. Take yourself into each locker room. What does each locker room look like? I think the Pistons are sitting in the locker room like, dude, I think we should have beat these dudes 4-1. I think they're sitting at their locker talking and having conversations like, this team can't keep up with us. We've done everything that we've tried to implore that could keep us in this series. We've done, and they haven't been able to do anything with us.
So let me ask you this:
physical. We've leaned on Cade offensively.
Right.
We've had really good games from Tim Hardaway. We've had really bad games from Tim Hardaway. We tried to pin Tobias Harris on Karl Anthony Towns, and it's working. That's a huge plus. So now we got Jalen Duren rebounding, Tobias Harris being able to stick Cat one-on-one. I think if you go in each locker room and you were a reporter and took their temperature and there was no cameras around and no one was writing stories and you could truth serum these guys, I think the Knicks were like, man, we are in a battle we did not think we were going to be in. And we don't have as many answers as we thought we would. And I think if you went in the Pistons locker room, they're like, wow, we have a lot more answers than we thought we did, and we can compete. And by the way, we blew game 1 in the Garden. They're not afraid of the Garden. It's clear of that.
They're not.
The atmosphere, and JB Bickerstaff talked about this, the atmosphere that we're talking about the Knicks thriving on and leaning on teams, from what I can tell, they don't seem too bothered by that. And a lot of it is sucking the air out of the building when it's stoppage. But game 1, they came out from the tip and looked amazing. Knicks had a 21-0 run. Game 2, they win.
Well, this is the 7 of 8 quarters theory. You felt like the Pistons did win. Right.
Game 2, they win at the Garden. Then game 3, Knicks take care of business.
Game 4, Knicks steal.
Game 4, the Knicks absolutely highway robbery, larceny, steal the game. Then they bounce back from the steal, come back to the Garden, and win the game like the way they did. Well,
let me throw this to you.
And now you get to go back home. This is all house money. I say the pressure's all on the New York Knicks because I'm going to tell you this. This is the last thing before I give it to you. The Knicks are underdogs, by the way, in Game 6 in Detroit.
I love it. +1.
So,
let's go.
If the Pistons get that game, and it's a Game 7 in the Garden, initially the atmosphere is going to be bananas. They go down 6 points in the first quarter. Atmosphere is dust, and it's more, I can't believe we're in this situation, instead of trying to rally the guys to get going. And they've done a really good job of mucking up the game, and that sucks all the energy out. The energy yesterday was just okay. There was pockets of it, but throughout the game, it's another foul, timeout, foul.
Because it's a closeout game.
Yes, right? So,
well, the temperature in the room thing, let me throw it to you, because I think psychology-wise, if I were to go in the locker room, this is a Pistons team, and Cade said it. He had never been in the playoff scenario like this. He's grown up in this series. He basically said, paraphrasing, more in this series than he has in a couple of years in the entire NBA. So great point. They're kind of almost finding, I didn't know there was so much gold on this sand type deal. Oh, we got some two-way players in the playoffs, etc. But it's also equally the Knicks playing down to their competition. And so for me, I guess my question to you is, at this point, it's a boxing match, and now we're in round 9, round 10. And so if you're going into the Knicks MO to segue to Game 6, it is impose your will. I think that's 3 words. If we're talking game plan, you tell me if you're Tibbs and you want to talk to the boys, it's impose your will out the gate. And the Pistons, it's a great thought here to your point earlier, but the Pistons, not scared of the Garden. And this is kind of what happens sometimes, not for the Rockets, but early Grizzlies, you don't even know kind of the pressure yet of the playoffs. You don't know that. It's just young teams, young playoff teams. And that's where it's yes, pressure, of course, wholeheartedly is on the Knicks. I don't know that Game 6 the Knicks are going to have the same pressure as Game 5. There's something about being in your arena. It worked against the Pistons in Game 3 and Game 4, I feel. And that's what I'm hoping bounces back the other way, because the Knicks love the ruckus environment too. Come on. They're going to chirp Brunson as a choir again? It's going to work against them. What say you? Because it could be as simple as, let's just play harder tackle. If this is a tackle football series, Sean, let's just tackle harder. One Ray Lewis speech from a campaign or a Josh Hart, 48 minutes on to Boston.
Yeah, offensively, they just need Brunson. Brunson's going to have to do what he continues to do every game in the playoffs as a Knick that he's done, and with the Mavs. He's been an absolute monster. He had a bad game yesterday. He needs to score 30. Cat needs to continue to try to be efficient, and then they'll be okay. But the
larger issue for you.
No, it just goes back to what I said. Like they aren't as young as I think you're trying to portray. Cade's a young guy, and Cade is just so supremely talented. Malik Beasley's been in the playoffs. He was in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, there's some veterans.
Tobias Harris is a vet.
Dennis
is a vet.
Yeah, it's more Duren and Cade.
Yeah, it's Duren and Cade, and Duren, the only thing he's doing is rebounding.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would love to see more minutes for Ron Holland, because he has no idea what he's doing.
Forgot Jaden Ivey's on this team,
and
too.
has no real game to him. He's just kind of out there taking up minutes.
Yeah.
But outside of Cade, man, I don't want to go back to what we said going into the playoffs. I told you guys, I'd much rather play the Milwaukee Bucks. Period. I said it from the start. Everything about this series has played into the Pistons and how they wanted to play, and how they played the Knicks in the regular season. This is not new. This is exactly how they played the Knicks in the regular season. Guy missing here, guy missing there. But they were a tough deal in the regular season for the Knicks, and it's a tough deal now. I went off on that whole tangent because the pressure thing. The pressure is squarely on the New York Knicks, because...
So you don't think Pistons 0-2, haven't won a playoff game in 14, whatever it was, years. The pressure of 0-2 at Little Caesars Pizza. I think that to me is pressure.
This is year one. This is year one of Bickerstaff. This is year one of them winning games.
Well, no, they're ahead of schedule.
So then it's like, there's no pressure.
Well, I mean, they might come out a little more tight than they did in Game 5.
In Game 3.
Correct.
Remember we talked about that. This might be a situation where they're feeling good, we have to compete, and now there's a little bit of expectation. Could be the same thing. Could be something similar.
And let's just call what it is. It's real tough to pack in a quality team 3 games in a row. Lakers,
yeah, no
Nuggets can't do it. Wolves,
let me be
Lakers.
clear. They're not. Knicks aren't losing the series.
Yeah. Yeah, let's end it on a positive.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, I'm frustrated with how the series has gone. I think that is the bigger.
Well, it's what we always say. You've said it before. It's expectations. There's expectations.
No doubt.
But this particular, if you give them a little bit of a pass, and I don't give them too much of a pass, but this particular group of men have not played playoff ball, all of them, together yet. So they're even learning a little bit in real time. All right, under playoff duress with these dudes, what are we going to do? Because last year it was Dante, Hartenstein, a rebound, a shot. All right, who are those guys this year?
Yeah.
And a little bit to wrap it up here. Just to be a little bit, not call it out, but we need more bench production, and our guy Deuce is not broken double digits.
You know what's funny is, I think the perception is the Knicks, quote unquote, have kind of lost the series already, in the court of perception.
I
if
love
that makes sense. It's you guys struggled with the Pistons. You guys. Half the country thinks you guys cheated with the Hart thing. You should have lost that game. Karl-Anthony Towns hits 2 incredible jumpers to win on the offensive side.
Insane.
You let them come into your building and get 2 wins. It's kind of you might win the series, but you guys aren't a threat to anybody. Period.
You think there's merit to that?
I think that's the bigger overarching thing looming over the series. Yeah, they're going to
But use that and channel it, right?
They're going to beat the Pistons. But can this team actually compete as constructed is the overarching, I think, negative premise on it. There's a lot of games to be played and a lot of those questions will be answered. But I think that is more of the frustration and the heaviness. It's like we're struggling with the Pistons. We lose 2 games at home to the Pistons. And then now we got to play, if we win this series, we got to play the Boston Celtics. And then if you really want to take it, then we got to play the Cavs.
But I think we're, as ball watchers, realizing the Pistons are here to stay. This team is next team up.
Sure.
Cade is next superstar up. Like, we're watching it in real time.
It feels worse because the struggles in the first round against the Pistons, who were on year 1. And this team is on year 1 together, but this is like year 3 of the new look. Sure. We're here to compete and win 50 games a year. Knicks, that's why it feels a little worse.
Well said. And to put a button on it, Pacers in 5, Celtics in 5, Cavs in a clean sweep, and the Knicks are exhausted in the tank. Yeah, so that's a tough one. But we're in lockstep. They're going to win. I like them in Game 6. Do you like them as plus money? We know what they are. Top 3 straight up off a loss all season.
Yeah, they do bounce back off of losses. They've done it. They did it in Game 2 to Game 3. It is been their MO.
Yep.
I'm worried that it's coming back for Game 7, to be completely honest. I would have trouble getting out crisp $100 bills and going to the window and confidently putting
no slip printed, as you would say. Yeah,
no slip printed.
All right, might have to roll a little Caesars Arena then.
In terms of stats to make Knicks fans feel good, 3-1 comeback has only happened 13 times. It hasn't happened in 5 years. It's only happened 3 times in the first round also. So
it's good stuff.
You can lean on that. Guy.
That's good stuff.
The Knicks are going to win the series. It's how they win the series is the overarching question.
And the Knicks love going on the road here to close out series, Sean. 5 of the last 6 closeout road games, all the way back to 98. But they've done it twice under Tom.
Let's go.
It's weird calling him Tom.
We'll see you this week.
All right, let's go. Make sure to check out the Juice Bar across all mediums. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. Sean Little at Chicago Flow. Alex Monaco at Moneyline Monaco. We are rocking every week at MSG Networks. Tune in.